Hi there. Thanks for tuning into this short video here. I want to explain a little bit about yoga and A Course in Miracles. What does yoga have to do with A Course in Miracles? Well, for me, it has everything to do with it because yoga means to join with our healed mind. And somewhere along the way, we all come to this point in our lives. Maybe we could consider it the dark night of the soul, where where something grabs our attention deep enough to where we really truly ask for a better way. We don't have to wait for that. We can begin the practice now. We can willingly ask for a better way. And yoga means to join and join with a deeper intuition, join with a true self that always has my best interests in mind. In fact, at some point along the way, I have to realize, as Jeff Bailey, as a separate individual self, I have no clue what my best interests are. That's workbook lesson number 24. If you want to scroll ahead or jump ahead to that, tune into that lesson. You don't have to do these lessons in chronological order, but eventually you'll be drawn to do that. Like myself, many students go through these lessons year after year after year, and each time there are new insights and new awarenesses that just come to the surface. Lesson number 24 says it's basically admitting a gentle admission that requires a lot of humility to say, I, as a separate self, do not perceive my own best interests. Now, the first 25 lessons are considered by many to be the lessons that address the metaphysics of really any spiritual practice. Surely the metaphysics of A Course in Miracles. What are metaphysics? But we know the Newton's law of physics and thermodynamics and all these things about action and reaction, and they're the physics of the world. The metaphysics are the workings of the field. Rumi, he said, meet me in the field, or go to the field and I'll meet you there. He's talking about something beyond time and space, beyond form. And so we start with this very simple workbook lesson, number 1, that basically is asking us to look around and realize we deep down, we want to recognize that we don't really know what anything is for. And that everything that we see in lesson number 2, we've given everything we see all the meaning that it has for us. It's all learned, and we've layered through education and life experience and our past history. We keep layering on meaning that we apply, and you don't have to look very far to see the insanity of that. The vastly differing opinions and the vastly differing beliefs that people latch onto and hold onto can be seen in the news, different channels, different social media platforms. And what does it all do? But it keeps feeding us exactly what we want to hear. And the ego loves that game. It just wants to keep feeding us, so we really end up staying asleep. We stay caught up in our own paradigm. And the awakening process, the way to sustained happiness and deep inner peace, is to begin to transcend those beliefs and those thoughts. We truly work toward a state of open-mindedness. But it takes trust. It takes a deep feeling of generosity. It takes a lot of willingness. Well, it takes a little, tiny bit of willingness. That's all that's really asked of us. So I wanted to give you this bit of an introduction because some of you are going to jump into the first lesson and go, what the heck is this all about? And then bail on it and not want to watch any more. Lisa and I jumped into this idea very spontaneously. We just said, okay, let's do this. And we got better as we went along. So in the first, 10, 15 classes that we did together, the words weren't flowing through me as clearly and concisely as they did later. So feel free to jump around through these lessons If any of them speak to you, you can practice right along with me. They're simple, easy, doable shapes, or you just sit back, close your eyes, and listen. The purpose of a practice like this is to really begin to realize that we're more than a body. We're more than a character in life. And that really our power to heal and our power to find a lasting sense of happiness and peace lies in our mind. And we start to learn with practice that the mind is not inside the brain, but the mind is everywhere. How else, to quote a Zen proverb, how else could we join with everything? How else could we do it if the mind weren't everywhere? And the ego wants us to stay trapped. It wants to keep us believing that the mind is trapped inside the brain and that we're nothing more than a body struggling through life. Like the story of Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the hill, and every time he gets close to the top, he never really quite makes it. The boulder rolls back down. He gets up the next day and pushes it up again, never really fully succeeding. No matter how much success we have in this life, the only thing that will really lead to success is to have a practice that helps us slip just past it. And the beautiful thing is we don't have to change our behaviors. We don't have to change anything about the way we go through our day. The only thing we're asked to begin to change is our perspective. We begin to change the way we see and the way we experience the world. And if there was a practice that promises a way, a very direct way to peace and happiness, wouldn't you want that? I know I did. I began asking for it at a young age, and man, what a difference it's made. And then once we experience it, all we want to do is share it. And that's what Lisa and I did. We came together and we just poured our hearts into this and we just shared it. So I hope you find some meaning in this. I hope you find it helpful. Jump in, play around, and leave some comments. You can get a hold of me, practice@evitaonline.com. All right, thank you so much. Namaste.